Hello everyone, I'm Lauren Nile, and I'm obviously an African American. And as an African American, I'd like to share with you some of my thoughts on this whole issue of race and the issue of racism, both of which seem to be, and indeed are, front and center in our national dialogue today. Now, before I get started, I want to let you know that more often than not, I use the terms African American, Hispanic American, European American, and Native American. Um, but for the purposes of this video, to cut down on time and to make it as simple as possible, frankly, I'm going to use the terms black people and white people because I'm going to be talking specifically about African Americans and European Americans and no other groups really in this video. So let me start off by saying that, on a regular basis, I have interactions with white people that are courteous and polite and respectful, and they happen so often that I can't even count them, nor would I try. It'd be ridiculous. But, for example, the other day I was in Target, I think, and the white man in front of me saw that my arms were full, and I try not to use bags when I can. He saw that my arms were full, and he very spontaneously pushed his merchandise up to the front a little bit more, and then placed one of those small rectangular plastic merchandise dividers on the belt, if you will, and then looked at me and winked. In other words, he was saying, hey, your arms are full. You can put your stuff down. There's room. And it just happened in an instant. Several days before that, again, I was shopping. There was a white woman, actually, who had a cart full of groceries and saw me. I had one thing in my hand, and she said, oh, you only have one thing. Go ahead. You can go ahead of me. You only have one thing. Just being polite. I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 days ago, I was in a sub shop. We were getting subs for lunch, and as we walked in, one of the white customers who was walking out took a look at us and said, oh, your first time here? We said, yeah. She said, the subs here are great, especially the hot sandwiches. You're going to love them. And I said, oh, thanks for that recommendation, if you will. I'm looking forward to them even more now. It was just a spontaneous sharing. So, when you have those kinds of things happen to you on a regular basis, it lets you know that, hey, this person is, at least in this interaction, in this setting, comfortable with me. They're being polite, they're being courteous. They're basically acknowledging, hey, you're a person, I'm a person, I'm responding to your humanity. I'm responding in a way that acknowledges our shared humanity. Nothing big, nothing deep about it. It's just pleasant. Now, at the same time, I also have interactions with a different kind of white person. I have regular interactions with white people who are suspicious of me or make instant negative assumptions about me. Here are a couple of examples. I was doing a workshop for a university that I worked for at the time, and I hadn't even put my bag down. I just walked into the room, and it was quite early, maybe, I think it was 6 a.m., because I was training the groundskeepers and the custodial workers that day, and they arrived, to work pretty early. So I just literally walked in when one of the white men who was going to be a participant in the workshop that day looked at one of his white buddies sitting next to him and said, pointing to me with his head. I guess this day isn't going to go but so good. I hadn't even opened my mouth, hadn't said a word. But he made that instant calculation that because I was the facilitator, the day couldn't go but so well. I don't know, it was maybe 6 months prior to that. Working at that same university, I decided one day to take a walk, which I do often at lunch. Had on a business suit, in fact, and sneakers, because I was walking. I walked off campus into a nearby neighborhood, and one of the residents literally charged out of his house looking at me saying, hey, what are you doing around here? You live around here? Now, in that moment, I didn't owe that man an explanation, but frankly, I was caught off guard because that particular thing hadn't happened to me in quite a while. And so in that moment, I just said, no, but actually I work at the university a couple of blocks away. I work in human resources? Oh, okay, okay. Now, I thought in that moment, would he have asked me that if I was a white woman, my same age, my same stature, dressed in a business suit in the middle of the day, walking in his neighborhood? Would he have come out of his house with determination, asking me, hey, what are you doing around here? Do you live here? I don't think he would have. You see, so those are the ways in which I have other interactions with white people, some white people. I'm going to explain to you where I'm going with this in the next video, but I'm going to stop here because I know that if I go on too long, I won't be able to upload this video. So hang on. I'll give you part 2 in just a second.